Yeah, yeah, I know what time it is, baby. It's Stay Packing, man. We here to bring y'all some Packers talk. So first up, man, y'all know who it is. It's Rashad. Rashad Shot Eats in the building.
Yes, sir, bro. Happy to get this thing started and kicked off, man. Stay packing in the literal sense, however you want to take it, in the sexual sense, however you want to take that.
In a
But
violent
regardless,
sense, you know how
in
we
a
say
violent
now,
sense,
man.
you know what I'm saying? In a violent sense, however you want to take that. Hey, we stay packing regardless, bro.
Yeah, my man Steven, what's up, man?
What's going on? It's good to be here. Good to be on. Repping straight out of Green Bay, the hometown.
hmm
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can't wait to get this started, get this rolling, and yeah, talk some Packer football. And we're going to be pretty real about everything, not hiding anything. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
Right.
All right, man. Let's talk about it. First thing we're gonna talk about. There we go. Matt Lafleur. Let's talk about it, man. So Rashad, give us your thoughts on Matt Lafleur and this offense, man.
Oh, Matt LaFleur in this offense. I've lost complete confidence in Matt, unfortunately. And it started to waver last year when he had Rodgers. Rodgers was checking in and out of plays, but also, I tell people I've been worried about Matt since Nathaniel Hackett left. Once Nathaniel Hackett left, the creativity on offense completely left. Like it completely left the building. So I always go back to, was it more so Nathaniel Hackett's play calling or was it Matt's? Because I think Nathaniel Hackett was the brains of that offense and that operation because Matt hasn't looked the same since. And unfortunately, going into this year, he hasn't done much to help out his young quarterback, which is very unfortunate because Gudikins and Matt LaFleur himself handpicked Jordan Love, and they really haven't surrounded him with much. They haven't gave him easy throws, schemed up anything easy. And granted, we've been banged up this year on the offensive line and at wide receiver and at running back, but Matt has done nothing to help out his young quarterback. And in my opinion, I think Jordan Love needs to start taking things more so in his hands and start creating more so, with himself because I don't think Matt knows what he's doing. I don't think Matt he can adjust on the fly. I don't think so. The last 2 years has showed that, and I don't think he's prepared going into games. I think when we get down, he's just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just air it out. And I think that's more so on Jordan Love than Matt LaFleur. I think Jordan Love is more so like, you know what? Screw it. I'm airing it out. We're gonna get this thing moving because it's night and day from the first and the second half, y'all. It's night and day from how we look in the first half to how we look in second half of games. And to me that's just not fair for a first year starter as a quarterback in Jordan Love to have to claw and scratch and claw in the second half when he should be set up, for all four quarters in a sense. So that's just my take on Matt. Not confident in him whatsoever, and that's just how I feel about it.
Hey, Dalton asks, will we trade for Garrett? I don't know how to say his last name. Bowles, whatever. What is he
Oh,
up? Who is that?
I don't know who that
I don't know
is.
who that is. Adam said, for those who are watching this episode, to the last night's episode, also don't forget to like it. Yeah. See what Adam said? Do all that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
comment, and follow, share, everything, man. Appreciate it, Adam. But yeah, I agree with you. He's a Broncos offensive lineman. Hey,
Oh, probably shit. We need all the offensive lineman help we can get. So
Yeah, for
we
sure.
need to run the ball more. Hey, yeah, we need to run the ball more. We need to have more running backs too, though. Hey, we ain't got
Yeah,
our starting running back. So I heard he was out today too. So I don't know if he even playing
yeah.
Sunday. So Steven, what you think about this guy
you
and
know,
our
I
offense?
it's hard because I like Lafleur, right? I always have. I think he is a good coach. I think his game planning kind of got derailed when Aaron Jones got hurt. I mean, we saw in the Bears game they were able to move the ball great, And I think
Right.
that's the problem is our game plan is so one-sided, right? I feel like when he's only got one plan for the game, and that's, if anything derails that, whether injuries, whether, like Aaron Jones, I think it totally derails what he's trying to do. I mean, back in Tennessee, he had a two running back system. That was always LaFleur's play
Hmm.
call, even from the past. But right now, looking into it, it's really hard because we don't know. I mean, it's his first year, and it's everybody's first year. Very young team first year, and I think for a coach, I think that'd be very hard to coach. And even I remember very early in the offseason, LaFleur's like, "Oh, we're starting planning now. Like, we're gonna go start planning for the season right now, very early, which that include plays or not." But it's I think his game plan was really centered around Aaron Jones, and when you don't have a running back, that's why we were trying to trade for Taylor, and that's why we're trying to get guys. And I don't think whether what happened that didn't work, but AJ Dillon's not the answer. You know what I mean? He's a short yard back, and when you have that two combo, and then but we're not really using any of the young running backs either that are behind those guys. So I don't know. Kind of on that side, I think he is going to be in the hot seat after this year to see what
Hmm.
happens with it all.
I
But
agree.
I think this year he's still trying to figure things out, and I think hopefully we can get it figured out and get it because you're right. Jordan Love, again, we go back to this, isn't Rodgers. He's not supposed to be Rodgers. He's just him. But a young quarterback like Jordan Love, something that I see Jordan Love coming into every game is it's like it almost feels like there's a lack of confidence. And I don't know if that's new plays thrown in later. I don't know if that's Jordan Love just being a first year quarterback, and then it seems like once he gets into his rhythm, it's that second half that he's like, okay, I shook the nerves off. I can go out. I can make good reads, good throws. I have a ton of confidence in what I'm doing. And for me, that's just kind of what I don't know. That's what I've been seeing.
Hmm. And Steven, real quick, do you think it's more so indicative of a lack of confidence because his offensive line has been terrible this year?
Honestly, I think that honestly, what I think it is the pressure that he's been put under. I think it's the
Right.
pressure of him trying to be Rodgers. I think it's the pressure of him being Favre. Green Bay has had such a long winning history with our quarterbacks that some of these kids never knew anybody before Favre, right? And I
Hmm.
think it's just that long history that he doesn't want to let people down, and he doesn't. I think he's just got to kind of walk away from that and not
Right.
kind of care what other people think of him. You know what I mean? Like just go out there
Right.
and be you and not worry about what happens after that. I think
Right.
that honestly, I think that's honestly what I think's happened with that.
Mm. The reason why I say that, not to cut you off, Josh, but the reason why I just say that because, um, the reason why I say that is because he has no veteran leadership around him at all. It's just a bunch of kids playing with a kid. You know what I'm saying? And I always go back to when Rodgers came into his first year situation. That entire roster was in the NFC Championship game the year before. Which is
Absolutely.
no, nobody mentions that. No one mentions that. That
No.
entire roster was in the NFC Championship game legit the year before, and he
Exactly.
had two legit wide receivers in Jennings and Driver, and he
Yep.
had a young James Jones, a young Jordy, a legit offensive line, a legit running game, and Ryan Grant. I mean,
Mhm.
this dude came into a made situation. So I think where you see the lack of confidence is I'm playing with a bunch of kids and my offensive line is bad and we're
Yeah.
not playing well. You know what I'm saying? Including
Mhm.
him, he's not playing well. He's up and
Yep.
down. So
Yeah.
that's
When
just
he's
my take
supposed
on
to.
it.
Yeah. It's his first. This is such a weird transition they made. I mean,
Right,
because he's a first year quarterback, but he's expected to be the veteran. You know
right,
what I mean?
and like that's bullshit. Like that,
Yeah.
he's
I
so
agree.
set up to fail. Like that. Like
He's
yeah,
he's
yeah,
basically a rookie though. No matter what people say, he
right,
could he could have
He
been in
is.
the league 4 years.
Yeah.
He's been in the league 4 years now, but he hasn't played a
facts,
Agreed.
season yet. So what do you call
Absolutely.
right,
people that ain't played a season yet? A rookie. So
right.
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Absolutely. I agree 100% on that. And like, yeah, you look back and even, yeah, that offense Rogers walked into was amazing.
Oh my
Michael
god.
Finley
and he had a D, you
was
know what I'm
on that.
saying? He had
Yeah.
Charles Woodson on the other side, Clay. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had
The
Clay.
whole Yeah, it was very
plan
easy
now, but
for
yeah,
Rodgers
listen.
to transfer into that, and that's kind of like we talk about Brock Purdy coming into the Niners, right? I feel like that was kind of that same way of not
Situation. Yep.
because not a stacked team, but I mean they were good. They were very very good, and that's what I
And
feel
they went
like.
to the NFC Championship game. It
Yeah,
was
and
good enough.
you kind of wonder, Packers have been known not. I mean, they don't sign veterans very often, but why
Hmm.
didn't we bring in one veteran backup quarterback? Why didn't we bring in a veteran wide receiver? And we may. I mean, we still got until the 31st, but I doubt anything's happening. But bring in a veteran to kind of help with the locker room a little bit.
Right, 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 and I agree. I definitely agree with that. And again, I always go back to we are in cap hell right now because of Rodgers' contract. We're eating 40 million this year because and everybody knew this was going to be a transition year. I still think this team can be much better than what they've shown. That's why I had high hopes coming into this year because I thought this team could be still a wild card team, and they still possibly could. We got a lot of football left to play, right? But it's just right now the highs and lows. They've been in every single game. They've lost legit every single game outside of the Lions game by I think a combined of like 7 points or something crazy like that. Like it's nuts, bro. So we've had a chance. This team could easily be 4-2, but unfortunately, the schedule. The record is what it is. We are who
Yeah.
we are. We're 2-4. But you're right. I think they expected Love to be the veteran in his first year with a bunch of rookies, in a sense, guys who haven't played a full year.
Yeah, and something about that too is I don't blame Aaron Jones at all. That man took a pay cut in the offseason. He's one of the best running backs out there.
Right.
And so I kind of feel like, so if he's hurt, if that was me, I would be the same thing. I'd be like, you know what? I'm hurt. Like, I'm going to wait till I heal. And, I mean, if I have to go come out here and take a pay cut, I will. But I think part of that pay cut was maybe even thinking Rodgers is going to be back at some, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it's all, yeah, it's tough. I think we got a lot of kinks to work out. And like you said, Packers, if we look back at past seasons and you look at it, they usually need that boot in the ass game where they lose to a
Hmm.
shitty team and they come out and they're like, we're fired up. We're not taking this anymore. We're gonna, they kind of come out a little fired up with a chip on their shoulder, and they get put as the underdogs and they come out playing great. I think Denver was that game almost felt inevitable, right? Like I almost felt like we were
Hmm.
going to lose that even before. Like we talked
Me
about that
too.
last night, and I think it was because it was kind of things were kind of coming down to that. Like we weren't really, and after a bye week too,
Right.
it's tough to do. Which I know I've heard one thing that LaFleur likes to do is like when you're off, you're off. Like a lot of guys, I've heard veteran players talk about that come into Green Bay say that's one thing they loved about Green Bay is that when it is a bye week, you don't come to work. Like I don't know what days of the bye week they come to work, but they get a longer break. It's not like other teams where they're still practicing. Like these
Hmm.
guys do get a longer break than other teams from hearing from past players and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. Something's gonna change, I think, and yeah, we'll see.
Before we switch over, let me get Adam said the trade deadline is Halloween. Now would be a good time to fill in the holes to improve the rest of the cover the rest of the offseason and draft. Moran said we need to use our tight ends more. Um, Czar said Brett Favre's not coming through the door. And Adam also said Green Bay will be fine in my opinion. Historically, they don't stay down very long if ever. Like yeah, people that I think me and Rashad talked about it a lot. Like a lot of these younger Packer fans just know Aaron Rodgers, so they know just championship, Super Bowl or bust. You know what I mean? But when Aaron Rodgers first came, it was a bust. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't that good. He wasn't the Aaron Rodgers that you know now. And typically, when Green Bay drafts people, it takes them probably like not 85 to 90% of the players they draft, first rounders, it take them time to develop. Our second rounders, because like I tell people, pre-dreadlock Devontae, pre-twist Devontae, nobody was checking for him. Devontae was trash. We
Hmm.
all 99% of Packer fans wanted Devontae gone his second year. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Like
Facts.
now he's what a Hall of Famer. He's top
Hmm.
two receivers in the league. Take steps. We got to develop. You know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers, he didn't come out the gate. If he would have came out the gate, Aaron Rodgers, we wouldn't have Favre. You know what I mean? We'd have let Favre go 3 years earlier when Rodgers got drafted. So it takes time. Like for us, for some reason, it takes time for our players to develop. Rashawn Gary, he didn't come out the gates booming, but now he's one of the best pass rushers in the league. So, I mean, people just got to be careful, man, or just be patient. So,
Right. How you feel about the offense though, Josh?
I'm pretty much feel with y'all, man. It's a whole bunch of kids running around. Matt LaFleur don't know what he's doing in the second half. I think he needs to take the playbook he had in the first half last year, because that was our problem last year. We was one half team. We was a second half team last year. I mean, we was a first half team last year, and we only second half team this year. So he needs to take those two playbooks and combine it. Like I said before with Rashad, and I think told you, Steven, they're gonna let LaFleur go before they let Jordan Love go, man. Like it's just that, man. Like LaFleur just looks lost out there. Every time in a press conference, he tried to be the tough guy. Nobody even buys into that. Like we don't have no identity at all on offense.
That's the number one thing. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that's just it. Like we don't go into the games. He said, y'all first. Yeah, it's big time. And that goes on the coach. He doesn't scheme plays either. So we go in there on the fly. We don't even know what we're gonna do the first play or whatever. He doesn't script plays. That's another reason why we just go in there looking lost. Like we just go with the flow. And he tried to go with the hurry up offense, and it didn't work. And then he ditched it. Like, just keep going, man. Like he just looked lost out there, man.
And I wonder I wonder when Rodgers was there, and I think we can all agree with this, that Rodgers ran that offense, right? But I also wonder if LaFleur ever showed any competence of scripting plays or having set plays, even when Rodgers was there. You know what I'm saying? Because now that Rodgers is gone, I look at Matt and I'm like, bro, you have no clue to what you're doing in the first half of these games, and you get to the second half of these games and you're just like, it's almost like, fuck it, let's just air this thing out, or just like let's just because we're already down by 2 scores. So it's I don't know, like his mindset and his situational football awareness to me blows my mind in certain aspects, because it's just he looks like he's just always unprepared. That's like, and that's not what you want to see from your head coach, because you have a first year starter at quarterback. You're not setting him up to succeed whatsoever. So
like I was telling you, Rashad, earlier, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, but one of the bright spots is this young team doesn't, even though we be down by double digits and sometimes at halftime, they don't quit. You know what I mean? They go out there in the second half, they go out there in the third quarter, and they fight. So that's one thing that I could always say, that, hey, they didn't give up. You know what I mean? Like we might have made mistakes along the way. Jordan Love might throw bad passes, Matt LaFleur throw, but hey, we make a fight of it. We make a fight out of it.
Right.
Other than the Detroit game, we made a fight.
Right.
Do you think we need a new OC? I was gonna say that too. Do we need somebody else to call the plays? But what y'all think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Our OC is Adam Stenovich, and it's hard because he's done such a great job with the offensive line, and that's kind of where he's always kind of been. It's more, in there with the offensive line, and it's hard because, I mean, now with guys falling out, Green Bay's always had a great one, but I think there needs to be a mix-up somewhere, and if that's it, then I would be okay with it. It's hard because all we hear is LaFleur, but we don't hear, the OC side of things, or, and God, something that drives me nuts with the Packers is they bring these guys on that, they bring these guys on from teams that have failing pass. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these teams, like even LaFleur's offense that he had with the Titans they weren't special by any means. What I mean? And we keep bringing these guys on that don't have a good coaching pass. And I don't know if that's from the Packers hiring or what, maybe who they got. But then again, I don't know, because you look at Josh McDaniels and the Raiders. I mean, he had a great pass, but then look at what he did, or even the Lions. So I don't know what coaching switch up needs to change, but something's going to have to change, because I feel like we're playing like as if we had Rodgers again, and this is not it. Like, you look at and you almost see almost the same exact plays that they had, that we're like, well, Rodgers, yeah, he could, check that off or not, or, make adjustments. And I think that's a big part of where Rodgers helped this offense compared to looking at it now where Love is so new. And yeah, he's been in that system, but to actually be out there and see some of these schemes and stuff in person, I think really changes things. And yeah, and I don't know. I think something's going to need to change in that front office somewhere.
Yeah, before you touch
Right.
on the Rashad, Ace Boogie said one thing about this team's full of young players, they don't like to be embarrassed. They're gonna always fight back in the second half. Yeah, that's just like what he
Yeah.
said.
Absolutely,
Man.
absolutely.
So, what you think about the OC situation, Rashad?
I mean, honestly, dude, like I said, I go back to when Nathaniel Hackett left, the creativity on offense left. So my thing is Steno a good OC? Who knows? I think here's the thing with position coaches and coordinators. Some guys are meant to be great position coaches, just like some guys are meant to be great coordinators, just like not everybody is meant to be a head coach. Okay? The problem is
Josh McDaniel.
I think right, and the problem is I think Steno was a better position coach than he is a coordinator. But who knows? Maybe he's not calling the plays fully, and Matt is. But right now, he has that title, and it's just we'll see. I think we do need an OC, but I go back to Matt LaFleur has to show some kind of competence and adjustments because he hasn't shown that. And we go back to Matt LaFleur will be gone before they let Love go. I'm telling you, bro. They're going to give Gutekunst is tied to Love for the next 2 to 3 years. They're going to give him every single opportunity to succeed because it's not fair to the kid and it's not fair to the draft pick. You know what I'm saying? You invested so much in this kid over the last few years. You want to see this pay off. And right now, your head coach is not setting up your young quarterback whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? As far as personnel wise, obviously, and play calling wise. So again, and you know what? As much slack as Jordan Love has gotten this season so far, and it's warranted, very warranted. He's been so up and down. His play is sporadic at times. He hasn't looked good at all. But I will say this: in the second half of these games, you're starting to see something develop to where you either got that or you don't, and that's putting your team on your back and clawing back and taking certain games over. You saw that in the Saints game. You're starting to see that in every other game, especially the Broncos game. Him clawing back, not having a good first half, scoring 17 unanswered, and then we get to that point to where we take the lead. And again, another stupid coaching job in situational football. And I'm sure this is a great segue to our next topic. Is Joe Barry. Then you give up. Then you play 10 to 15 yards off in a somewhat of a prevent type of defense when you just take the lead and it's 8 minutes left in the game. Why are we not bumping and running? Like, why are we not playing at the line of scrimmage? Why are we playing so off? And it's just again coaching issues, coaching issues in situational football over and over and over again. It's like when we do something right, we stub our toe and do something just absolutely stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's just
like
it's
not like you said, a bunch of kids.
It's just a bunch of kids, and it's not complimentary football at all on both sides.
Right.
So that's what's frustrating.
Real quick, Ace Boogie said, and without Bakhtiari securing the left side, and that line feels like the whole line is spiraled.
Facts.
downwards. So, yeah. So Bakhtiari was a big loss. You know what I mean? Like that whole situation, and then just everybody on the offensive line, I think, has been hurt. So, but speaking of pretty much no identity, yeah, we really don't. I think the defense does have an identity, which is soft. You know what I mean? That's just the way we play. Like,
Facts.
it's just weird how our defense and our offense don't click on the same. You know what I mean? Like two of the games they did because we won those games. You know what I mean? It's the ones that clicked that game. But like Rashad said, when the offense took the lead, we needed a key stop. This dude plays prevent. You know what I mean? And everybody know what prevent mean. You know what I'm saying? Like you, you gonna give us some points on prevent. You know what I mean? You preventing us from winning. That's what you're doing when you play that type of defense. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, Steven, what you got on this bum right here
He's
and
got to
the
go.
defense, man?
He's got to go. And to kind of tie in to the last segment too, I think it's hard as Packers fans. We are used to winning so much. So when we see things go downhill and things go wrong, we almost want to immediately hit the panic button. Because we got to remember, even as great a team as Rodgers walked into, he was only 6-10 that first year. So
Exactly.
Exactly.
excuse me. But on it, our defense, man, this is the side of the ball with the veterans. This is the side of the ball with our first round picks, our
Man,
guys that need to be showing why we got them where we got them. You know what I mean? This is the side of the ball that has zero excuses right now. I mean, you
exactly.
name this defense, and it almost, I mean, Kenny Clark and
I think
Rasul
seven first
Douglas and
rounders, right?
Savage.
7 or 8
Yeah,
first rounders.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 7 or 8 first rounders on this defense, and we still can't get it going. Like, obviously, that to me is a major point at the coach.
What up, Ken?
It's our offense. Yeah, bunch of young players. We're working through it. That's where I see that. But LaFleur's got to let go of Joe Barry. This is
Got to,
almost laughable at this point because
got to.
that defense is a great defense and has potential to be the best defense in the league. But I think, and there's been kind of things that they've said, like Jair, last year he kind of mentioned, I mean, didn't he at one point have, butt heads with Joe Barry a little bit?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because he
did.
want to follow the best receiver.
Yeah, and look what happened when he did man him up against Jair on a lot of, or on Jefferson on a lot of those plays. They shut Justin
Fluke.
Jefferson down.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so I think Barry's got to go, and they've got to bring in somebody.
got
And
to.
I don't want you look at Barry's past and like the Redskins when they were down, or the Commanders when they were down, and some of these other, like I think he coached for the Panthers when they were terrible as well. And it's like, man, we
So what
need to,
up?
yeah, we need to get Joe Barry's got to go. And I think
Got to.
everybody's on the same page with that one as Packers fans.
Yeah, you gotta go, man. Like you had multiple years, man. Like and that the defense has always like I give Lafleur a little bit of pass because we had Aaron Rodgers, so you want to see him without Aaron Rodgers, and now with the quarterback that they picked. So, but with Lafleur, I mean, with Barry, you've had multiple first round picks. You can't do nothing with it. It's like I know it's other defensive coordinators out there that's saying like, "Hey, why can't he get it right, man? I would love to have that opportunity to coach those guys." You know what I mean? Like when it's
Absolutely.
third and four, you playing way off. It's like, dude, man up on these guys. Our best cornerbacks, our starting cornerbacks are all man guys. You know what I mean? Like it's like, why do we as fans and everybody else see it and you don't? You supposed to be this guy, but I
Exactly.
guess he doesn't see it because he came from the Lions team that went 0-16, and I know he was a big part of that because he's trash though. You know what I mean? That's his peer, like his
Yeah.
defensive scheme for the guys that we have, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like when you have multiple, are you because we have smaller defensive linemen, and then like you only play two or three linemen on a run. It seems like it's gonna be a rundown. You only got two linemen down there. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
dude, put
Exactly.
more linemen down there. Like switch. Me and
Right.
Rashad talked about it. You might have to switch to a 4-3 instead of this 3-4 or this nickel based
Yep.
defense. It's not working. So,
Right.
I
hey
agree.
Right.
man, Rashad, what
Yeah.
you think, man?
I agree, bro. And I just think I had high hopes for Joe Barry after the 2021 playoff game against San Francisco. That was the best Packer defense I've seen in a long time, man. And the way we played a physical brand style of football, we were more physical than the 49ers were. And that was speaking volumes after that game. And so I had such high hopes going into the following year, and we regressed. And to me, that's coaching. That's you can put the onus on the players, but for the most part, that's coaching. And Joe Barry has shown he can't make adjustments again. Another guy in situational football that can't make adjustments. And I believe this team needs to switch to a 4-3. I truly do. I truly do. I'm tired of this 3-4 thing. We've been running this 3-4 scheme since Don Capers came in, and I'm at a point now where we need to switch to a 4-3 scheme. And the Niners run a 4-3 scheme. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they run a 3-4, but their 3-4 is way more physical than our 3-4, obviously. And I think we need a scheme change. I think we need to run a 4-3 defense and get this thing back on track. But yeah, Joe Barry got to go. Joe Barry should have been fired last year. And honestly, but the crazy thing about that, y'all, Joe Barry these last few games, he's not the problem, which is wild to say because he's kept us in these games the last few weeks. The problem is the offensive side of the ball. And when we do take these leagues, take these late quarter leads in the second half, the defense has been on the field the entire game so far. It's like when we do need another stop, it's tough. But it's just a tough situation all around. But I'm not in the wheelhouse of having Joe Barry stay as our defensive coordinator. He should have been fired last year, in my opinion, and I hope he is fired. I know he probably will be fired by the end of this year.
Dennis said, I think we have to start accepting that players and coaches have peaked. But with this defense, like our players are young, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, so our
I don't
players
think
are
they've
young.
peaked.
I don't
Like
think they're
Quay
peaked at all.
Walker and all them like them boys, they haven't
Right.
peaked yet.
Neither.
You know what I mean? Like some
Right.
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but this defense is young. I don't know for some reason, like I say it all the time, like you are what your coach is, like that mentality.
Right.
And then Joe Barry, I don't even know what's his mentality. You know what I'm saying? I never hardly see him except for on post games or you know what I'm saying interviews. And Matt LaFleur's mentality, you know what I'm saying? He's not that tough guy. Like we just a
Nah.
soft
He's
finesse
soft.
team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just what we really are. We are a soft finesse
Yeah.
team, and
That's soft.
that shows on both sides of the ball. On defense, yeah, we might make some plays there and go on a run, but for the most part, we ain't got that killer instinct like the Niners and Philly got. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, like we
Right.
need somebody with that type of mentality that's gonna lay a hat on somebody,
Hmm.
and it just hasn't been that way, man. So, like to Rashad's point, that the defense has kept us in games. It's just like they're never on the same page because we take the lead, then we need that one major stop, and then the defense can't stop it. You know what I mean? Or we make
Right.
a bonehead uh, penalty like Clay did against I forgot. He jumped over the offensive lineman.
Alliance.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like we always like a lot of teams can say like we always shoot ourselves in the foot though, man. Like, but this Joe Barry got to go. Like
Hmm.
out of the two coaches, I say Joe Barry got to go first before Matt LaFleur.
Matt, facts. I agree. Matt's gonna get at least one more year with this team. Um, if he doesn't show any progress, he's definitely on the hot seat going into next year for sure. But he at least get one more year. But Joe got to go. Joe has to go. He has to go.
What you think, Steven? If one had to go, who would you let go first?
I definitely let go Joe Barry as well. I think, like I said before, is like Matt Lafleur. I think he's I don't I hate hearing this. Oh, they're buddies, and he's not. I mean, this is a job. You know what I mean? Like this is your job. You want to be successful, you're gonna have to cut ties with people that
Right.
and no hard feelings, right?
Right.
But I think all in all, Joe Barry, like Rashad said too, though, like it's also about being healthy too. Like
Yep.
why are our guys dropping like flies every
Man.
year? It seems like we have an injury report 2 pages long every single year.
Training staff is horrible.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is or where that comes from. I know, like for instance, I'm not a lot of people know, Montana Grizzlies, right? I'm a big Montana Grizzly fan. And I'm going to say this. I know one of the reasons that they have a lot of injuries, and it's known, is that it's because they practice so hard. And in practice, and their off seasons are very, very tough. So when they come into the game, they have a tendency of getting injured more than other teams. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. I have no clue why our guys are dropping like flies and not, I couldn't tell you. But it is hard to coach, younger guys that come in that are third or fourth stringers and they're trying to make coverages and everything else. Like they're going to make mistakes too, right? And so, but all in all, I think Joe Barry needs to go. And I like what, Rashad said. We need to get a guy that's going to come in there and be cutthroat. I liked seeing a little bit of fight out of Quay Walker last year. I mean, not against the Lions training staff, but I mean, he had an attitude to him that I love. And I think that fires up a defense like, hey, we're going to have your back now. You know what I mean? And have coming into a fight, you want a guy like that. So I don't know. But yes, I would choose definitely. I think Joe Barry's gonna be gone way before LaFleur is.
All right, let's talk about these bum Minnesota Vikings, man. They on that high horse, man. They beat they beat the Niners, man. I ain't gonna say nothing about the Niners, but yeah, they beat the Niners, so they riding high. They fans talking crazy. They think they the best thing smoking right now because hey, they beat the Niners. I don't care if the Niners have players hurt or not. They don't got Jefferson. So I really can't be like, oh, the Niners was hurt when they ain't got their best player. When the Vikings ain't got their best player either, though. But Rashad, what you think about this game, man?
Man, as crazy as it sounds right now, and I'm talking to Packers everywhere. This might sound crazy, but I think we're gonna beat them this weekend. This is the game where I think we're gonna win this weekend. I wasn't confident in the Denver game. I told you guys we would lose that game. I wasn't much confident in the Raiders game, even though I was at the Raiders game. I still wasn't confident in the Raiders game. I had a feeling. I had a feeling we were gonna beat them. I had a feeling we were gonna lose to them. But this game, for some reason, and like I said, well, I could be wrong. And hey, you know me. If we wrong, I'll get back on here next week, and I admit I was wrong. But I got a feeling we're gonna beat them. And I actually wanted the Vikings to beat the 49ers because I wanted the Vikings to come into Lambeau thinking, oh, they're gonna do whatever to us. They don't have to get up for us. Like we're gonna roll these dudes, blow these dudes out. I got a feeling we're gonna beat them this weekend. Call me crazy, but that's just my take.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, they're coming into Lambeau, and that's a great thing about Packer fans. We could be 0-10, and the fans are still going to show out and be loud. You know what I mean? And these fans, I mean, tickets are still flying off. Like the prices are high, everything's still going crazy. So, I think we will. You go and get embarrassed, and then you're going to come back out and make a statement in this game. I agree with Rashad. The last two games against the Raiders and Broncos, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't have any confidence in either game as well. But it's like going in that Bears game when everybody doubted us and everybody said, "Oh, Justin Fields is the greatest thing ever, walked the earth, and we're going to come out swinging on everybody." Well, awesome, but we went in and beat them. You know what I mean? And so I think we're going to come in and I think we're going to beat the Vikings as well. I really do. I honestly do. And yeah, they're coming off that game off of San Fran, but it's a different time. I mean, it's a new game, and it's any given Sunday, and it's honestly. With this, that was one thing I will give the Vikings credit for is you watch that O-line collapse on Kirk Cousins damn near every play, and that guy stood in the pocket throwing the ball as well as he ever did. So that was I will say that was that's something that he wanted to win that game. But they're going to come into Green Bay. It's going to be another hostile environment. It's not at home. It's our home. And I think it's going to be I think we'll see a lot bigger. A better Packers team. Because look at last year when the Vikings were on their high horse and they had all these wins. They come in playing a bad Packers team. Our defense shut them down. Like that was our defense. That was
exactly.
You know what I mean? And that was with Jefferson. So I think Packers. I agree with Rashad too. I think they're going to win this game as well.
Yeah, I think like Steven said, our defense stepped it up that second half of the season. And if we could get back to that, like that defense just gets back to dominating and Jair stays healthy and shutting down whatever side he's on, I think you know what I'm saying, like that defense could definitely give and we start getting turnovers, give Jordan Love some extra possessions to work with and just start getting the flow like that.
Mhm.
I think we could get momentum from the defense and that could carry up, like I said, it could carry over to the offense and we could start clicking. So of course I want us to beat these bums, but I was listening today, and do y'all think that the mystique of Lambeau is gone? Like when teams come, I know, like back in the day when Favre was playing, or even Aaron Rodgers
Mhm.
or whatever. Y'all think that when you come into Lambeau, it's like you gotta come with it. I think the mystique is left when Randy Moss came and embarrassed us, though. But do y'all think that we could get it if it's gone? Do you think we could get it back, Steven?
Definitely. Here's what I've taken from all the games I've gone to, and I was fortunate enough last year. Like I haven't been going to games for years, but last year I tried to hit every game. And the one game I did miss was the Vikings game. But it's kind of one of those things that depends on who we play. If it's a
Mm.
rival, like you go around town here during the Bears week, it's pumped up, man. You
Right, right,
feel
right,
it.
right.
Like I mean,
Right.
it is one hostile week here for the Bears. Like it really is. And then there's teams like I went to the Titans game and it really just kind of didn't feel,
Like Dennis said.
yeah, like it didn't feel like there was any sort of,
Mhm.
mystique to that at all. Even the Lions game, the one bad part about the Lions game, that game felt wrong in the other way because everybody, I don't know, they're talking about people, the Milwaukee, selling Milwaukee, the gold package, selling their tickets to all the Lions fans and away fans are buying them all up,
Oh wow.
which, yeah, which you kind of saw. Like, it is not, Lions games here are home games. That is the hardest thing to see. Like, when we were going to the game, there's, wooden cutouts of players in people's backyards they VRBO the houses to, and they were put in Lions gear. Like they had Lions hats on. Lions fans threw jerseys on them all. Like
That's
it was crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it felt like walking into an away game. It really did. And as you saw earlier, again with another Milwaukee package, like if they're gonna do a Milwaukee package, do it on like a night we play the Titans, not night we play the Lions in our own conference, or
Mhm.
show up to the game. I don't know, but yeah, I think it depends. It's all game situational, and I will tell you, it's also weather situational. When it's dumping snow or it's some really really cold out there, the fans really get into it. Like especially when it's snowing, it's a whole nother environment. The fans love it. They're into it. They're you know cheering loud. Like it gets really intense out there for teams, especially with all that snow, and it's awesome. That part is amazing. But yeah, mine's game to game is how I feel about that.
Rashad, what you think about the Packers been sticking Lambeau Field?
I think it's game to game too. I know Dennis said Michael Vick, he killed that. I disagree. Because the last time Dennis Eagles came to Green Bay, we kicked y'all ass. So relax. But I don't know. I think it's game to game basis. Um, and to me, when the Vikings, any NFC North rival, you come and we play y'all, it's a different vibe, man. Any NFC North rival, it's a different vibe. I think for the gold package game next year, I don't think the I don't think the Green Bay Packers will do that again. Have the gold package game for a NFC North rival game. I don't think they'll do that again because of the Detroit turnout. So hopefully, that doesn't happen again. But yeah, I think this week it's gonna be nuts in Lambeau with the Vikings. I think they're gonna come with it, and like I said, I go back to hey, I just got a funny feeling. I think we beat them this week.
Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna beat them, man. Like I just on paper we're a better team. We're a better team than a lot of these players. I mean these teams. So I think
Mhm.
Jordan Love, but it all goes back to coaching. Is Matt LaFleur gonna put us And well, Adam said he hopes Dobbs gets 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, I hope that comes in half of that comes in the first half because it seems
Right.
like we just can't. You know what I mean? Like I'll take a touchdown. Like when's the last time we scored a touchdown in the first half? It's been a little minute since we scored a touchdown. What is
Mhm.
it? What Atlanta? That probably was the last time we scored in the first half.
Yeah,
A
yeah, in the
touchdown.
first half. Yep.
So
Atlanta. And I was there. I was at that game. I was in Atlanta for that game, and that's another game we should have won that we won, but that we lost by 1 point. Like it's just crazy, man.
and
Yeah.
before we get up out of here, man, how do y'all just like this is different for us? You know what I mean? Like to be like when we had Aaron Rodgers, we were struggling. We was like, man, this is it's pretty much a quick fix. Aaron Rodgers probably gonna get it going soon, but right now it's like a. He said you bad luck, Rashad, going to these games. Um, like it's just a different situations for Green Bay fans, and like I was saying earlier, the Green Bay fans that these young Green Bay fans that only really know Rodgers, you know, they haven't been in the situation to where it was like, man, you know, like you say, Rashad, it's a microwave. They just want instant, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, success. And for Green Bay, for the most part, like our players develop. Our top players have always had to develop. It took 2 or 3 years, and they would be like Jordan Love is in his fourth year, but he hasn't played though. So you can't
Right.
develop if you ain't played. How you
Right.
supposed to, like I just don't get it. So I mean, it's been a
Yeah.
tough season so far, but like I've always said, it's a developmental season, and plus I have more expectations for the defense, the run game, and all that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I didn't have
Yeah.
high expectations for Jordan Love like I did the defense
Mm.
and the run game. So what's y'all just thoughts on the season so far before we
I
get up
can
out of
say, I mean, for me, and this is gonna sound crazy, it's a refreshing frustration because I
That's a
because
hell of a
I
way to put it.
yeah, because I mean it's very frustrating to sit and watch, us
I
lose in the
like that.
Broncos, and all that. But it's refreshing to see these new guys coming in and these new guys doing like we're seeing Dobbs and Watson and Musgrave looking great. Like
Hmm.
they're looking good, and Jordan Love looks good too. And I think for that, I really
relax.
yeah. But for honestly, like I feel that in a way, a sense of like this is all new, and something that we watched last year was Rogers seemed like he didn't give a shit out there,
Right.
and we actually see Jordan Love competing and trying and doing whatever he can, running the ball, taking the hits to get that first down. Um, with all of it, our defense, it just feels like that'll click at some point as well. You know what I mean? And I think everything's going to come together and the Packers won't be down long. And, the nice part is, yeah, we're kind of freaking out now. It's his first year. Like a lot of us haven't seen this stuff. But coming in the next couple of years and these young guys develop into veterans, think if these guys stay on pace for where they're at and we have a
Hmm.
veteran team like this, it's gonna be nice. Like we're gonna be back to being the Packers again, winning again, and I really think that I think we're gonna be okay. I think we'll be okay. I think we're gonna take our lumps. I think we're gonna take a lot of losses under our belt that we hate to
Hmm.
watch, but it's gonna be nice to watch these guys kind of come through down the road.
Right, right, and that's crazy. You say that you frame it like that, Steven. That's a perfect way to frame it. And I go back to again, we got a lot of these Roger fanboys who only knew Rogers at his prime. They didn't see Rogers his first couple years in this league, and I'm sorry if you go back, and a lot of you Packer fans everywhere, other Packer fans know, you go back and you because a lot of you have short term memories, right? But if you go back in 2008 when Rogers started, um, I want to say it was Bob McGinn. He wrote an article on Rogers saying Rogers was not it, that they were going to be in the dumps for quite some time. And over the course of Rodgers' first 3 years, that was the issue. They drafted Brian Brom his second year because they did not believe in the kid, right? He was up and down. He had a team that went to the NFC Championship game the year before. He was 6-10 with that same exact team. I don't care what his stats were. I could care less for stats. All that matters is wins and losses. Okay, you can have all the stats you want. Hell, Carr has great stats. Dak has great stats. Kirk Cousins damn sure has great stats. They don't win anything. Okay? So that's all that matters is wins and losses. And for the Rodgers' first 3 years, those were the issues. We got to the playoffs. His second year as a wild card, we lost. And I told Josh this yesterday. People forget about, yeah, we won the Super Bowl in 2010, his third year, but people forget how we got there. We were the last seed and we needed major help to get in. Could you imagine if we didn't get the help and we missed the playoffs that year? They were
Yep.
already on Rodgers' head and they were already claiming that he wasn't the guy because he wasn't Favre. It's the same shit. And you know what's crazy? I was one of those fans because I was such a Favre homer. That's all I knew was Favre. Oh, this kid doesn't have it. He's in his third year. He doesn't have it. Right? Could you imagine if we missed the playoffs that year? It would have been you.
Imagine if we had social media back then, we would be eating
Oh,
Rodgers
it
up
would have
back
been
then.
nuts. It would have been nuts, bro. Because we would have missed the playoffs his first year, wild card, lost, missed the playoffs again his third year. Could you imagine that? So
Yeah.
so the fact that
Yep.
so the fact that we got in and we went on this miracle run, that saved his career, I think. It saved his career. Because if we don't get in and don't go on that magical run, we're he's in his third year. We're probably the rumblings, the seats start getting hot for another quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So again, it take I say all of that to say it takes time. And that as a Packer fan now transitioning to love, I have so much patience because I've seen it before. I've seen it work out before twice. I have a ton of patience, man. And I'm gonna ride this train, bro, till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, man, I'm with y'all. Like, it's just you gotta. It's a young team, man. Like this team, like especially the offense stuff, because yeah, the defense is not that. I mean, it's older than the offense, but it's like the tight ends are rookies. The ones with
Right,
Musgrave, Kraft, and what's the
Correct.
other guy? Sam's, I think his name is. The guard is, you know what I'm saying, but he doesn't get playing time like that.
right,
So and then you have Watson, Dobbs. They haven't even played the whole season of
Look
football
at
yet.
look at the emerging receiver we have, Wicks.
right. He's another one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you supposed to be my trainer. That's on you, man. I wouldn't suggest if y'all need training, don't go to Jake Ryan. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, it's hard to just be a Packer fan. I ain't gonna say it's hard to be a Packer fan. It's trying your patience though. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely, absolutely.
like we just really not used to it like that. So I don't know, Rashad, you got any last words before we get up out of here?
Man, I look. I don't know, man. I tell people don't give up on us yet. Keep the faith. You know, hey, win or lose, it's Packers for life. But just require a little. It requires you to have a little bit more patience this year. It's frustrated, like no doubt. Look, I know it's frustrating. I'm frustrated. I hate to lose, but this was expected. The highs and lows of a young team, but we need to start righting some of these wrongs, and I think it's going to happen soon. And I think it's going to start with this weekend. I just got a feeling about this game. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I just got a feeling about this game that we're going to win this game.
Hey, Donovan, you say fire
I
Josh
agree.
McDaniels, which I think y'all should do though. But
I
hey,
agree with that
he coached
too.
y'all enough to beat us, man. He out coached Matt LaFleur, which is crazy because he hasn't out
Right,
coached that many people.
Yeah.
right.
And then we know Jake Fields, Allen Love though. But where's the last time Fields played, man? I don't
Yeah,
remember
didn't
the last
Fields'
time.
backup just score more touchdowns than
Yeah,
Fields?
exactly. So you need to put the backup is better than Justin Fields right now. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just hard being a Packer fan right now. But man, y'all see the name of it. We stay packing over here. So
Yep.
hey, we up out of here though. Steven, any last words?
Nope. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. Go Pack, go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.